he had an apartment building down on Wilshire Boulevard, the Miracle Mile, and he said he was interviewing people for a couple of apartments he had open.
Mm-hmm.
And this young man came down, knocked on the door. Excuse me. And the young guy wanted to rent the apartment. So he said, I said, I was sitting on the sofa, one sofa, and he's sitting on the other in my front room, and I was talking with him, and he said, I put my head down for a minute, and when I looked up, there was two of him sitting on the sofa talking to each other. He's talking to an exact same uh, 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 man himself. He's talking to himself, another entity. Yeah, and he said, and that one was just as real as the other one. I didn't know which one was the original one. And they're talking to each other back and forth about the apartment, about whether he should get this one, and whether this is what he was looking for. And he said, I looked up, and there's two of him, and they're talking to each other. And I asked, what in the hell is going on here? And he said, oh, and then when the kid said, oh, the other one disappeared. Boom, it's gone. And he said, what was that? And he said, oh, that's my alter ego. I've been worshiping the devil, and he's actually communicates with me, and so it doesn't scare me. He communicates with me that looks like me, but it's actually the devil. And
what?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to scare me, so he will appear to me like me. So I'm just kind of talking to myself, and that doesn't bother me. I'm just talking to me. So he said, and so my friend says, I'm afraid you're gonna have to go look for an apartment someplace else, son. I don't want you here. Thank you. Goodbye.
So it's like a demonic entity was appearing as himself, so he doesn't scare him.
That's right. Exactly.
My God.
So if the demonic entity, the devil entity, wanted to, has been, totally communicating with him, but he always appears as if he's him, so it doesn't scare him. Hold on just a minute, will you?
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, I'm back.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard lots of stories.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of stories because I've lived here in Hollywood for 54 years. I know all the studios. I know all the big shots here. I know all the movie stars. I know all the directors. And I know the whole system. I know where it all comes from, how it works. Because I've been here for many, many years, and I know people all over behind the scenes. So,
Jordan, who's running? I wonder who really runs those hills back there, like Laurel Canyon and Benedict Canyon and stuff. They got the underground.
Nazis. There are underground homes.
Right.
One in particular.
Uh-huh.
Nazis. They were mostly all. See, Adolf Hitler did not develop Nazism.
Nope.
Nazism was first of all developed in Studio City on Laurel Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Up on Laurel and where Mulholland and Laurel Canyon. Many years ago, there were extremely powerful, wealthy, industrialist Germans. And one of the most wealthiest German industrialists had a house up on Mulholland, off of Mulholland, and it was inside of a mountain. The house was inside of a mountain.
Mm.
They dug into the mountain and built the home there for him. And so you could drive by that mountain every day and not know that's a home inside that mountain. You just don't see it. And that's where the Nazi Party was actually put together. The whole idea and all the concepts and belief systems of the Nazi movement was all put together up on Mulholland Drive in Laurel Canyon, right here in Studio City.
Do they have any beefs? I wonder who do they beef with?
Oh, who knows? I don't know.
I'm wondering because it looks like one thing that they don't like you talking about is sort of like the beefs that these people have with other groups.
Yeah.
Why is that so dangerous, do you think?
I know, well, it's just dirty laundry they don't want.
They don't want out on the streets.
They don't want out on the street, yeah.
You know the China Lake base.
I know about China Lake, yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Dave Emery like you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about Frank Turple, and Frank Turple, Frank Turple was basically a mobster from Brooklyn, and he got recruited. He went to the army, then he got recruited by the CIA. He ended up being Idi Amin's right-hand man. He basically turned Idi Amin into what Idi Amin became.
Mm-hmm.
He got him all the guns from England, and he did all this stuff. But Frank Turple was indicating that he had to help with a lot of people from the China Lake Naval Base to do all this.
Yep.
And Frank Turple got arrested, or he didn't get arrested, but he had never been arrested. They gave him a pass to leave the country, pretty much, when this all came out. But he had been robbing that base blind. That he had, listen, Jordan, even the president of the United States can't even get to some areas of that base because of the clearances.
Well, I know that.
But Frank Turple had him and a bunch of mobsters from the East Coast were robbing that place fucking blind. And the China, I mean, you have these high up military people and a bunch of thugs from the East Coast were taking high tech, sophisticated equipment off the base and all kinds of shit. I mean, it's just unbelievable because these guys are just gangsters.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a bad person.
No, it does. It does. I don't have anything. I don't have anything against them, but I'm just saying that.
No, I'm just being facetious as a joke.
Yeah, I just noticed that you think about this stuff when you really think about the CIA and stuff. It's really difficult to when you actually figure out who these guys are. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why I've come to the point in my life after doing this for 54 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to the point where I don't even care anymore. I just want to be left alone and happily, pass away soon. Thank God I'll be gone.
Yeah.
And because I know there is no hope.
Mm-hmm.
for the human race, not just for America, not just for people in the U.S.
Jordan, this stuff I'm talking about isn't anything secret. All this stuff was mainstream.
I know.
This was all in the newspapers.
Yeah.
That's what this was all in.
Yeah.
This was all in. This guy named Tony Thomas of the British Broadcasting Network did a big documentary series on this. And
yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised. There's been a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good stuff out there on the web if you know where to look for it. If you got a pencil and paper,
yeah.
Write down some of these names and go watch everything, download everything they've ever done. I'm going to give you the best of the best.
Okay.
One is Lloyd Pye, spelled with two L's, L-L-O-Y-D.
Mm-hmm.
L-L-O-Y-D, Pye, P-Y-E.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Pye.
Yeah, I know who he is. He was on your show.
Well, he's sensational.
Yeah.
But he's gone. He died mysteriously.
Mm-hmm.
He happened to be doing just fine one day and died of a horrible cancer 2 days later. So that tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that guy named Joseph. Peter Levenda is another one. Peter Levenda, L-E-V-E-D-N-A, I think it is. Levenda, L-E-V-E-D-N-A.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Levenda, very, very important. Download anything he's talking about. He's great. And especially John, what's his name? Joseph who? Hold on just a minute. I'll find his name. Joseph, I've got him here on my computer. Hold on. I'm looking for his name right now. His first name's Joseph. Where is he? Santos. Do you know about Santos Bonacci?
Yeah, he had a radio show.
Yeah, but have you seen his lectures on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
Well, then you haven't seen nothing.
Okay.
So it's Santos, S-A-N-T-O. S-A-N-T-O. Santo, B-O-N-A-C-C-I. B-O-N-A-C-C-I.
Okay.
Santo Bonacci. Got it?
Yeah, I got it written down.
Okay, now just hold on. I'm trying to find the other one. The other one's very important, so I want to make sure I'm finding him here. Joseph, what the hell is his name? Joseph, hold on. Oh, shit. I got so much in my mind, I can't remember them all.
You can always email it to me later if you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to get it. I want to get it to you right now because he's so important.
Okay.
Just hold on, Joseph. Yeah, I could do that too, but.
Yeah, and Jordan, I'm getting the feeling, like from you, I can just feel the vibration of this. That this stuff is so. These people are so dangerous. You know?
God, you have no idea how bad they are.
They're so. It's almost like there's a secret committee just to stop people from talking.
Oh, of course there is.
Several of them.
Of course there is.
Several of them, huh?
But they're not. But it's not just that. They are not of this world. They're vicious. Not of this world.
It's spiritual.
It's a spiritual thing. It's demonic. So when you see, here's this guy. His name is Joseph Farrell. F-A-R-R-E-L-L. Joseph Farrell. F-A-R-R-E-L-L.
Uh-huh.
Joseph Farrell is absolutely a mind trip. He is incredibly interesting and important. So go on the web and just listen to all of his lectures of Joseph Farrell, and he'll blow you away.
Mm-hmm.
He'll knock you out with the stuff. Yeah. And then of course there's I got Lloyd Pye and Joseph Farrell and
Santos Bonacci.
Who was he? Yeah, Santos Bonacci, and can't remember. There's a whole shitload more of good people out there. Really good stuff.
I had went back and checked out a lot of that stuff from Anthony Sutton.
Oh yeah, Anthony Sutton. Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out like the stuff he was talking about. Even in the Vietnam War, you can see how the United States was giving the Russians all the technology.
Of course they were. Of course, yeah.
And then they were using it on the American soldiers.
He was one of the ones I was going to give you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew all about him many years ago. I heard about all of his stuff. I had all of his stuff many years ago. His books.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean he's very good. Anthony Sutton. He's got tons of books, you know, and proving everything he says, proving everything. So, but happily, that doesn't have anything to do with Paris Hilton and basketball, so nobody gives a shit.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You got to have evidence. You know.
That's right.
We gotta go and get these people from the bunkers and bring them up and have them do an interview and admit to it with.
Yeah, and show you how they did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have to have CNN put it on TV, and it has to be a big thing, and maybe then they'll consider it. You know.
Well, they will consider it, but the end result will be, well, you can't believe all that bullshit. You know. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Out there, see it right in their face. So, yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. You don't believe that, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I do what I do for the people who are supposed to hear me. And the people who are not supposed to hear me, I don't give a shit one way or the other.
Yeah, I had listen to this, Jordan. Okay, right after the congressman was killed, before the suicides even happened, they were already ordering the body bags for the suicides and stuff, and the CIA had sent a wire from Jonestown at 3 a.m. in the morning to the Department of State, telling them, you know, the situation and everything. And this is admitted by the department. This isn't anything secret. This is all admitted. It's all been provided and documented. And I was explaining to a school teacher, listen, this is already documented. You can contact, there's people who have this on paperwork. You can contact the Department of State and get it again. And he was telling me, oh, you have nothing but stories. There's no evidence. You don't even know what to say to something like that.
I know. It leaves me speechless.
Yeah, I don't even know, you know, how do you respond to somebody who says something as moronic and ignorant as that?
Yeah, I know. Well, the other thing is I was at a Sabbath dinner. A bunch of my Jewish friends invited me over for Passover.
Uh-huh.
At Passover, they had a Passover dinner in Santa Monica, and this is a couple of years ago, and I went down. And one of the guys there was a top reporter for the L.A. Times, Los Angeles Times reporter, and a very famous name in town. And he was there, and after dinner, we're sitting around talking, and I brought up 9/11, and he said to me, you know, Jordan, I don't want to talk about that. And I said, oh, really? Okay. Why? And he said, well, I just don't want to talk about it. And I said, well, I just was, you know, interested in the facts that don't make sense. He said, no, I don't want to talk about it, period. Mm-hmm. And I said, why not? He says, I don't care to know. I don't care what the facts are. I don't care. I don't want to know. As far as I'm concerned, the government is right, whatever they said, and that's it. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I said...
And that's a reporter.
Yeah, that's an L.A. Times reporter.
That's a reporter saying that, yeah.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, well, you know, it strikes me that this is exactly what the German people said when the Jews were being marched into concentration camps. They were the people said, we don't want to hear it. No, it's all a bunch of bullshit. We don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, well, there's none so blind as those who choose not to see.
Yeah.
It's not like you're blind. No, you don't want to know. So that's it. I understand. You don't want to know. You ain't interested to know.
But Jordan,
so shut the fuck up.
You've had some serious protection too, though, because if I'm right, you've had entities or people out there, whoever they are.
Oh yeah, all around me. Yeah.
Come in, just to provide provide the protection for you.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's no doubt about that. None. Mm-hmm. I know exactly right. You're exactly right.
But it doesn't mean it's that scary, though.
No, it doesn't mean. It really, to me, doesn't mean a whole lot. Period.
Right.
Because while that may be true, it's also true somebody could kill you tonight. So.
Yeah.
I hope I'm being protected, but I'm not going to bet on it.
Oh, I know. I've been it wasn't related to anything like this, but I've been shot at. I've had a gun held up to my chest before, and the only reason nothing happened is because there was a car at the corner, and the person holding the gun didn't want to be witnessed. They didn't want to. And I've had a few situations like that, and I know it. I'm sure you've had a lot more, Jordan, because I remember. You were at a diner or something. I remember you talking about.
Oh yeah,
somebody.
Yeah, that was. That was down on Fairfax in Wilshire Boulevard in Fairfax. Yeah.
Yeah, but the people.
I've had lots of experiences like that.
The people who were doing this to me were basically nobodies. The people who were out to get you were, this was a.
They're not even from this world.
Yeah, was it like the Men in Black type of thing? You think?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Jordan? Who are the Men in Black entities? Do you know?
Yeah. I have no idea, but I do know that when I talk with, what's his name, the movie star, he was Saturday Night Live. What's the guy's name that was on
Dan
Saturday
Aykroyd?
Night Live?
Huh? Was it Dan Aykroyd? Was Dan Aykroyd on there?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
I was out at Disney at a party, and Dan and I were sitting around talking. We talked for about an hour about all this kind of stuff, him and I.
Mm-hmm.
He told me all about his brother and making the movie Ghostbusters and why he made it. But he was telling me the story when he said, I was in New York, downtown, and he said I went into a phone booth in New York, and he said, and when I was there, a black car, a big one, pulled up right there by the phone booth, and two guys in black, both of them in black, with sunglasses, and they watched me. They were both sitting there watching me, and he said that it was real spooky. I'm standing in the phone booth, and this car is parked there, and a couple of guys watching me.
Mm.
And he says, and so I turned to put some money in the meter, to put some money in the phone, and I turned back around maybe a second, or a second and a half a second, and the car's gone. And he said, so that scared the shit out of me. They were there, in a blink of an eye, they're gone.
Interdimensional type of.
There's no doubt about it. That's the only way it could happen. So he says, when that first happened to me, I knew that all this stuff that I've heard over the years from, there's no doubt there's something to it, because I just saw something I don't believe. Got two guys sitting here with black suits on, sunglasses, and a big black car. And I blinked my eye and turned just for a second, and they're gone. And he said, no car can move that fast. Nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but it's not from here. So he says, so after that, now I'm a believer. I've already had enough experience to know there's something going on here we're not being told. So
that's kind of like, that reminds me of that story that you told about you told so many good stories, but you told a story about how airline pilot had went into a bathroom and came out, and he went like back.
Oh, that was John Anderson.
Yeah.
He was about 95 when I met him. 95.
Mhm.
He was at least 92, I think, 93, something like that.
Mhm.
And Dr. Roger Lear, the implant doctor, you know about him?
Yeah, the one who found the NASA. He found out that the microchips in the abductees
Yep,
were like
yep,
emitting
yep.
NASA
That's
signals.
him.
Yeah.
That's him. Well, his best friend was this guy, this Navy guy,
Mhm.
Anderson, John Anderson, and Dave Anderson, and Dave was telling all of us. There was a whole bunch of people at Dave Anderson's home. Dr. Roger Lear, myself, and AJ from Brazil, and a whole bunch of people were all sitting around talking. And this is a guy who's like 90 years old, and he's not, he's not trying to get on TV and be a big movie star. He's just telling you what happened.
Right.
And he said he was flying over the Bermuda Triangle, and he went to the bathroom, and he was the pilot. He was the pilot, so he let the co-pilot have the plane, and he went back to the boys' room, and when he came out, he was in a different plane.
Yeah.
And he was shocked, and everybody on the plane was shocked. Well, where the fuck did he come from?
Yeah.
And he was thinking, no, where did you come from? I know where I've come from. Where the fuck did you people come from?
Right.
And they thought he had stowed away
Yeah.
And he said, stowed away? I'm the fucking captain. And he said, I couldn't understand what was going on. And so I went up into the captain of flying the ship, and he says, and the controls and everything in that plane was, I didn't, that was old stuff. It was old. It was U.S. They were Americans, but it was old stuff. I didn't even understand how to work some of the stuff that was on that dashboard. And he said, and they wanted to know, who the fuck are you? And you stow away on the ship, and they were going to they were going to arrest him when they landed. And he says, no, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I don't even know who you are. And he said, we went back and forth. And so they told him, just go back and sit down and have a cup of coffee because you're going to jail when we get back. If you stowed away when we land, your ass is grass. So just go back and relax. And he said, so I did. I went back and I decided to go back to the bathroom. That's it. Maybe I'm losing my mind. And he said, when I came out of the bathroom, I'm back in my plane. And he said, so I don't understand. All I know is what happened. I was in the Bermuda Triangle, and I was in my plane. I was the captain, and I went to the bathroom and came out, and I'm in somebody else's plane. Now, I don't know what happened or how it happened. I'm just telling you what happened. I can't explain it.
It's almost
but when
like,
I hear shit going on being talked about going on the Bermuda Triangle, I'm here to tell you that shit is real.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's real.
Kind of like a
That's it.
Hyperspace. Like
Yep.
There's portals and openings and.
There's no doubt. Yeah, I know all about it.
Yeah.
I've heard all the scientists and all all the people. I've heard them all. I've heard all the stories over the years.
And Jordan, you've been contacted. I remember you said when you were when you were young in Florida, you've had some spiritual contact with entities.
Oh, you kidding? I sure as hell have.
How did that play?
I went out of body. I've been out of body when I was 8 years old. I had a really demonic, probably the devil. It was so evil. Come into my bedroom. Yeah.
What did it look like?
It didn't. It was a spirit. But boy, that spirit really impacted me. I was asleep. I was about 7 or 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up. Something woke me up. And I looked up and I didn't see anything because it was dark in my bedroom. I didn't see anything, but I could feel it. That there was an entity in the room.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just a suspicion, or no, I could feel it. I knew it was there. And it frightened me because it was so evil, and I jumped up in bed and started screaming as loud as I could. A little 7 or 8 year old, and my parents come running in to turn on the light, and I started screaming for them to stay out of my bedroom, stay out. And my mother's asking, what's going on? And I just kept screaming at her, loud as I could, stay out of this room. Do not come in this room. And I'm jumping up in bed, crying and yelling and crying, stay out of this room. And my mother said, why? I said, because he's here. He's right here. He's down here. And I'm pointing to the corner. He's standing there, right there in the corner. Don't come in the room. And finally, it went out. I felt it. I just felt. You know what it was like? It was like in the movie Predator.
Yeah.
When that thing could turn on that little device, and then he was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see when he moved. You could see it was doing something to. It was doing something so that you could see something moving.
Like a energy silhouette or something.
Yeah, like an energy field was moving.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, and I saw that when I was like 7 years old.
It's almost like, Jordan, these spirits were aware of your incarnation. And,
there's no doubt in my mind. They've come
to hassle you almost.
Yep. That's exactly what I think. That's what I think.
I've had that happen with like the Black Shadow people. You ever heard of them?
Yep.
I remember when I was growing up as a child, I had like several dreams of these Black Shadow people kind of like holding me down against my will. And,
yep, that's exactly right. That's what they do.
It's an evil feeling, and you don't. It makes you feel unsecure. You know.
Oh God, that's the least. I mean, it's scary. It's scary as shit, boy, when you are confronted by something that is not of this world.
So Jordan, but these are the type of entity that you faced when you were like when you were this age, this young age. These are the type of entities that are giving the orders to the agencies and secret societies that we're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. There's no fucking doubt about that. No doubt about it. That's exactly correct. Right. That's exactly what's happening. These entities, people who are running this planet, they're not running anything. They are merely the pawns in the game. You know, they're just pawns in the game. Somebody's running them. So that's why I know there's no hope for the human race, because the real enemies, like the Knights Templars said, as above, so below. Mm-hmm. So the shit you're seeing down here, yeah, well, that's nothing compared to the shit that's going on out there that you don't know nothing about. As above, so below.
Yeah, Jordan, there's this guy, he channels. I think I told you about it. They got a website called Treb Channeling. And there's an entity called Treb. And Treb is like Treb is half human, half reptilian. And Treb says that a future version of the human race called the Nihal took their DNA and mixed it with that of a reptile to try to prove that the reptilian people can be good too. And Treb is like some sort of, at least that's the story. But the information that comes through is incredible. And Treb was saying how that there's an ancient race called the ancient draconian race. The lizard people, and they had something to do with there's Earth reptilians, different types of reptilians, but the highest you can get, at least in this matrix, whatever that means, is the ancient draconian reptilians, and they're all throughout the galaxy, and they move to planet looking for different types of basically like parasites almost. They feed off the energy, and so all these the creation of humans. And all this stuff, these entities, they look for vulnerable species to right.
Did you ever hear that show I did with Nancy?
Yeah, about the how the reptilian came out of the closet with her.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And then didn't her father have to fake his death? Like
yeah. Well, the father died. He he went out one day and never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't know what happened to him. He just went out and never came back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Uh,
But humans sell out. I mean, it's so crazy because humans aren't shit. Humans sell out over nothing. I mean,
oh, I know.
You got a whole race here, and it's all this money and all these agencies and stuff. Their job is to make sure the humans that want to be free can't be free.
That's it.
And,
that's there, and they're doing a good job.
Oh, they're doing a marvelous job.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but that isn't it. It's just crazy. It's just like, the religions, all these groups, and everything. It's all there to make sure humans don't ever have any real freedom.
Yeah, well, it's they realize that as long as you give them a bunch of beer and games and entertainment and alcohol, most of them, 95% will be happy. Oh, they got their cold beer and their sports, they'll be happy. But there's going to be a few that's not going along with the program, and we're going to whack them.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure they stay in line.
And I read that thing you had about Lincoln and Kennedy, how like they're basically the same people, just.
That's right. I thought that when I first heard that a long time ago, I was a kid when I first heard that. There was a record, an old '78 record, many years ago, and I don't know. I was probably 12, 13 years old, and that caught my attention. And I played it over and over again and wrote it down, what was being said. And I started, I always kept that in mind. That was very interesting. All those facts about the, it was a long time ago. I don't even remember exactly, but I don't even remember exactly. It was right around I think it was right around the time that Kennedy was coming into power.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he was killed, that's when it was. So it was back in 64, I think it was. 63, 64.
Right.
That record, that's when it was. And but that's been a damn long time ago. That's 54 years ago. And
that was kind of like your initiation.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I heard was that old record.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, I started meeting people, but that was because of my girlfriend's father back in '59.
Jordan, who was that man? Can you? I don't know if you said you don't want to name any names, but who is that?
Well, his name was Bob Ferney, F-E-R-N-E-Y.
Okay.
F-E-R-N-E-Y, Ferney.
Ferney.
Bob Ferney. But who was he? In fact, I don't know. All I know is he blew my mind. That's all I know. He blew me away. I got the faintest idea who he really was.
But he had access back in the 50s to crafts, to the extraterrestrial type.
Oh, yeah. 59.
And
he just looked up in the sky and started talking. And he said, they'll be here in just a couple of minutes. They said about 2 minutes. And 2 minutes later, they showed up.
But he was
and
cool,
then they
though.
Stopped.
He was cool. He wasn't.
Oh, yeah, he's talking to him. He ain't no big deal. Shit, he's just talking to him like the neighbors.
Yeah.
He's just standing there talking to him. And he's talking, but you can't hear him because his lips are moving. But you can't hear him. And he's just looking up in the sky. And I watched him as he's looking up in the sky and he's talking with his lips are moving. And then he looks at me and he said, well, I just talked to them and they said they're coming and they'll be here about 2 minutes. They're coming from Griffith Park area going north. And they said they'll be here in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And I said, who? He said, oh, wait, you see. And I said, well, were you talking to somebody? He said, yeah, I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
Where do you think I got the information from? They told me they're going to be here. And I said, who is going to be here? He said, you said you wanted to see UFOs, right? Yeah. I said, yeah. She said, well, then just sit tight and they're going to be here.
like soup. It was like he was making a bowl of soup or something. It was so the way.
He's just over here talking to the neighbor next door.
Yeah.
And he's just looking up at the sky and talking, and sure enough, minute and a half, 2 minutes later, they showed up. And when we saw them coming over the mountain from Griffith Park, we saw them coming, all three of them. And he said, "Oh, there they are. Okay, here they are." And I'm wondering, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. And they come over very quietly. They come over, and then in a triangle formation, three of them, and they're glowing, beautiful colors, making no sound at all, and stopped right in the air, right above us, and sat there. And the colors were spinning around. They were beautiful colors, and they make no sound at all. And I just stood there watching them and looking at them, trying to figure out, in my mind, what in the fuck am I looking at? What in the hell am I seeing? And so then in 59.
Yeah.
And then I looked over at him, and he was kind of smirking and smiling. Well, you wanted to see UFOs, didn't you? Yeah. Well, there they are. And so I looked back up, and they're just sitting there spinning around in circles, the different colors. And then I looked at my girlfriend and her sister, and she just kind of smiling at me, which was telling me, this is my father. He does this all the time. And I was just amazed. And then he looks up, he starts talking to him again, but you can't hear him. His mouth's moving. He's obviously talking to him. And he said they said that they're going now, but they'll be watching you. They've been keeping an eye on you, so they're going, but they'll see you later. And he said they're going north now. And then when he said that, they started to move. And then we stood there and watched them as they went north. And once they were gone far enough, they were gone over the hill. That's it. They're gone. And I was amazed. What in the fuck did I just see? This guy looks up in the sky, talks, and they show up. Then he chit-chats with them for a few minutes, and then they said they're going, and they do. And my girlfriend's looking at me and thinking, what's so impressive about that? Well, I see that shit all the time.
Yeah,
but
she looked like a normal girl.
Yeah, just a normal guy. But he was very, very agitated with me. He was very agitated with me.
Why?
He was very excited about talking to me.
Right.
It was like he was very excited. He's supposed to talk to me, and he was very excited. He was very excited to impress me. I don't know how to say it. In other words, it wasn't just a casual thing. No, he was really excited about my being there and wanting to show me all of this stuff, what was going on, and then he got the book out and said, "I'm going to give you a book. I want you to read. This is going to start you on your journey because we brought you out here. We have something for you to do." And but it won't happen till the last part of your life. So I need to get you started. So he gave me the book, The Complete Works of Charles Fort. Have you ever seen that book yet?
I haven't seen the book, but I've read on blogs and stuff. I've read some of the material, like about the rocks coming from the sky.
Yep.
And the rocks would like a
well,
different.
Order the book. Order the book. You can still get it.
Yeah.
Order it from Amazon. It's called The Complete Works of Charles Fort. F-O-R-T.
Yeah, I'm gonna order.
And there's a website called Fortean Times.
Mm-hmm.
Fortean, Fortean Times. It's out of England, and it's a website devoted to Charles Fort and all the strangest shit in the world, all kinds of strange pictures and off the wall shit that nobody's ever heard. It's a great website called Fortean Times.
Jordan, right?
They got a magazine that's on the newsstand called Fortean Times.
Yeah. Jordan, right now, when you were telling that story, I got like a spiritual, energetic type of vibe from that story, where it's like it's almost like I can feel the strangeness that you have encountered through your life a little bit. Like, you know how you can talk to somebody, you can pick up on the vibe of the person.
Oh yeah,
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 I'm getting the
yeah.
sensing. It sounds like there's just a lot of who like these people. This guy that was showing you this, like it looks like his job, like their job was to like follow you through your life a little bit.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. He told me. He told me that. He said, he asked me. I said that. He asked me in the house before we went out in the yard. He asked me. He said, "Why did you come to California? Why did you come to Los Angeles?" And I said, "I don't know. I just had to come." And he said, "That's exactly right. You just had to come. And the reason why is because we brought you here. We're the ones that made you come here." And he said, "We can make you do anything. We can make you go anywhere we want you to. We can make you do anything we want you to." And that's exactly right. You were here because we made you come.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what are you talking about? And he said, "Well, you've always been interested in UFOs and aliens and other world stuff like that." And I said, "Always." He said, "Yeah, I know. We've been watching you for a long time." And he says, "So would you like to see some UFOs up close tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to." And the way he said it, I will never forget the way he said this. He asked me, "Would you like to see some UFOs tonight up close?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, that much I can do for you. You know, there are things I can't do, but that I can do."
Like he can do a whole lot more if he really wanted to, but
Yeah, if I really wanted to, I could do a lot of shit that you couldn't handle.
but there's rules. There's rules to it.
But there are rules and regulations. So, but this I can do. I can do this for you. So come on out, and I'll show you some UFOs if that's what you wanted to see. So I said, "Yeah, I'd like to." "Well, come on out, and I'll show them to you."
My God.
And we went out there and was standing out there at night, probably 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night, North Hollywood, 1959. And he looks up and starts talking, and he said, "Yeah, they said they'll be here in a couple of minutes. They're coming from the south. They'll be here. They'll be there in the 2 minutes." They did show up.
Yeah.
And, but I've also had many, many experiences like that. Area 51, seeing aliens there. I've had some really, truly remarkable experiences.
I remember that story that you told
the most remarkable, but the most remarkable thing that ever happened to me in my whole life, the single most incredible event, and I've had a lot of them, was I was out in the canyon up here in Box Canyon, up in the mountains north of L.A. And I was. Did you ever hear that story I told about when I was staying with a friend up at his home, and up in the canyons of Los Angeles?
No, I don't think I've heard that yet.
Well, I thought you'd heard that one.
Well, what's the nature of the story? I might have heard it.
Well, I'll tell you anyway.
Okay.
I was invited to go up and spend a long weekend with a friend who has a house up in the mountains of north of Los Angeles, and it's up in the canyons, up in the mountains. And so I went up there. Well, I had a friend that was visiting me, my age, who was visiting me from Las Vegas. And so I asked the people I'm going up to stay with if I could bring him. They said, "Yeah, bring anybody you want. Just stay here." So he still lives in Las Vegas. I talk to him all the time. He and I went up and to this people's house, and it was a tri-level house. It was on the side of a mountain, so it was a triple-layer house. And we were staying in the top part. They lived in the bottom part of the house. We stayed at the top part. And so we were there for like 4 days. And so one night we got a 6-pack of beer, him and I, my friend from Vegas, and we crawled up on the roof. They had a little ladder going up on the roof. So we took some pillows and some beer and some food and went up on the roof at midnight. and we could see the valley. We could see the Los Angeles, the lights of L.A., and it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful summer night, and we're sitting up there shooting the shit and drinking a beer and talking about stuff. And for some reason, which I have no idea why I did it, because even today it makes no sense. It's just what happened. As I was sitting there talking with him, and then I stopped, and I looked up, and I said, and this guy sitting next to me listening to me, and I said, I looked into the heavens, and I said, Almighty God, if you can hear me, would you please let a meteorite hit this mountain? And I pointed to the mountain. Let a meteorite hit this mountain over here. And when I said that, boom, a meteor out of nowhere shot down and hit the mountain right where I was pointing. Right where I was pointing. And I was shook. And I thought, what in the fuck just happened? And my friend said, what did you just do? And I said, I don't know what I just did. He said, you asked God to let a meteorite hit that mountain, and you were pointing at it when the damn thing hit the mountain. And all the lights came on in the canyon. All the lights came on because that thing really hit. And it made a huge hole in the side of the mountain. And I was amazed. I said to God, let a meteor hit this mountain, and right where I pointed was exactly where the meteor hit. I still talk with my friend in Vegas, and he still says, I cannot fucking believe that happened that night. What made you say that to start with?
Yeah, they might have put that in his head to say that. You think?
My head. I'm the one that said it.
Yeah, but
not him. He just sat there and watched it all happen. But I'm the one that said it.
Right. But that's,
I'm the one that put.
That's the people, the spiritual type friends. You just like the ones from 59. That might have been them doing that.
That's exactly right. Who the hell else would be able to do that? Sure as hell ain't me.
Jordan, who do you think they are?
I have no idea.
Do you think they're
no
from
idea
here?
in the world.
Do you think they may be a group from Earth, or they've just been here the whole time and we never knew it, or they're?
I don't know. Could be anything. Could be anything. I don't know. I have no idea. Anything is possible.
Because they were telling
all the scenarios, all the stuff, everything you could think of, and more. I have no idea.
They were telling you about the lizard people and stuff way back then, weren't they?
Yeah, of course. That's what my girlfriend's father was telling me all about it. Showed me the hills out there in Palmdale where they were.
Parablossom, or where the name?
Yeah, Parablossom, off of Parablossom.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, and did he say where they lived down in there? In the
Yeah, he said they lived down there
underneath the ground.
Yep. Mhm.
Because I remember there was a newspaper back in the 30s that came out about they were going to be excavating under L.A. because there was a whole.
That's right.
Makes you wonder where those skyscrapers go. How far down the elevator goes.
Yeah, I know all about that. I got a friend out here who's very knowledgeable on that, been tracking that stuff for years, and he and I have gone downtown L.A. at 2 o'clock in the morning and been scavenging around, and we know what's going on down there. Alien.
At night?
Yeah, at night.
With elevators?
There are openings down in Los Angeles. We didn't go into them, but we know about them. But I ain't going down there. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I would have said that. That's what it would have been what I would have said too. I would have said we can take some photographs, but I'm not going in them.
Yeah, no, not me either.
Who do you think?
But I've been told the same girl but Nancy was telling me, the same one that you heard. Mm-hmm. She was telling me all about the reptilians who are under Los Angeles, and her father knew all about it.
And they bring the children down there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Jordan. Again with this Manson guy, I've been doing some really deep research on this, and I just think I've learned that he did not do any of this. He was framed up, and the reason for that was he had a lot of really, he was institutionalized before he got out in '67. But he spent his whole life in prison with these top mafia guys. So he had all kinds of mafia connections. He wasn't a hippie by any extent. He knew the old school.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Elvin Creepy Carpus taught him how to play guitar, and but he he had figured out some things that were going on. He lived with the Beach Boys, and he played.
Oh, that's bad enough, boy. That's bad enough right there.
Yeah. He found out some inside things that were going on back in the '60s in Hollywood, and I think it has to do with what was going on back there at those movie sets, with the child stuff and
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah, I know.
Right, but he
I know all about that. Yeah.
But the children, there was something going on about back in the '60s about these hippies and all these people having children, the children being taken somewhere and disappearing, being delivered, put purposely left in locations, put in holes in the ground and stuff, and the children mysteriously coming up missing. Like maybe down.
I know all about it. Yeah, I know. I've heard all the stories. I've heard all the stories.
This is some sort of contract deal.
I've heard all the stories. I can tell you. Yeah, I've heard it all.
You can't go into that anymore.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
It might have listeners, and so.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to go into it. All I tell you is I know what you're talking about. I've heard it all. So.
Wow, I just felt a funny feeling like I was being watched by something when I said that. Like I just felt the presence of like otherworldly type of thing watching me.
Yeah. Well, probably so.
But where I'm coming from though, Jordan, is you spent your whole life researching this stuff, and I'm extremely interested in this stuff. I don't give a fuck about the money. I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I put your YouTube stuff, when I put these conversations on my YouTube channel views went up times like 20, and just because your name was on it. But I'm not trying to use this to boost me. I've spent the last 10 years just researching this shit, and I haven't made a dime off it yet. But I know because of you, now my channel is becoming popular. Now I see why you've been scammed so much in the past, because anytime you put Jordan Maxwell's name on something, the value of it increases significantly with the research.
Yeah, I know. And so you get cutthroats and mobsters and assholes and knuckle-dragging pissants and fuckers and liars, and they all look at, and they see that, put my name on it, and it sells, so they want to come in and rip me off. Yeah. Take my name, take my work, take my videos, take everything, and fuck this old guy and fuck him. Take everything he's got and make as much money off of him as possible, and then whack him.
Yeah, Jordan, I even made a video on my YouTube channel saying that more people should support you and call you and ask to do interviews or buy interviews from you or give more. If they're going to use your information, I made a YouTube video saying they're using your information, and give some because all they're doing is discrediting themselves, and
Well, I know.
When I was growing up, my whole life going to school and stuff, I had a teacher who was purposely using me. He wanted to put me on medication. There was nothing wrong with me, but they said, "Oh, you got hyperattention deficit, blah blah blah."
Yeah, all that bullshit.
Take these medications, and they were purposely trying to fuck with me with the medications because he was getting a cut of the shit. He was,
of course.
Right, and so my shits like that. I know how it is to. That's just the first. I got numerous stories growing up as a child. In the system,
I can imagine.
The system purposely, and in today's world, you see in 1950s, you kind of saw how the teenager started being targeted on a smaller scale in the 50s, but now it's to the point where, my God, they're living off the children. Of
course they are.
The fucking, by the time your child's 10, he's taking 20 different medications.
Yep. And he's. That's what Hollywood's all about. It's everywhere.
And he's on the New York Stock Exchange. They're doing
right.
They're doing all kinds of business and
the whole world is far, far more different than what we think it is. Far more different. It's really really, really bad.
It,
There's nothing we're going to do about it. Nothing.
Jordan, but I just, I came across this information, and it's so powerful, man. I just gotta run with it. You know what I mean? Whatever happens, happens. But I just gotta run with it, though. You know. And,
Yeah, well.
But
I learned the hard way. Not me. I'm going to run the other way. I've already done too much. I've already done too much, and I found out it doesn't get you anywhere.
But it's enjoyable though to research the stuff. I mean,
Well, I know. That's what got me involved. Back in '59.
Yeah.
But I was already heavily involved in all kinds of dark stuff.
Like the ghoul, Jordan, the ghoul story.
That's exactly right.
It was a ghoul eating people, and you know what? That story is. After you told that story, do you know the local people in Florida put that shit out in the paper after you told the story on your show? They put something out about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After you told your show on the Jordan Maxwell show, then the local area down there in Florida, wherever you were, they started re-releasing some of the stuff that had been put in the newspaper about it.
I'll be damned! I didn't know that.
Yeah, almost somebody heard you say that, and went back and started checking into it, and then they just put it out there.
That's funny.
Yeah, but
that's funny. I didn't. When I'm doing radio, I normally, this is the way I feel. I don't know who's listening, and I don't really care. I just do what I do, and if somebody's listening, that's fine. And if they're not listening, I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. And so I just don't consider myself to be of any importance at all. I don't see myself as important at all, period. And therefore, I really don't realize, I don't understand, realize, or even care to know of my popularity in the world. I don't see myself as important. I don't see myself as popular. Not at all. It's very difficult to see yourself as being important in this world at all, or popular at all, when you sleep on the floor in an airbag in somebody else's home, broke with nothing.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the floor with nothing.
But that happens to all that's a sad story, and it's even sadder that it's happened to so many people, like Royal Wright.
I know.
They made him out to look crazy, and they,
That's right.
Anybody who even tries to use that shit goes to prison. That how you
That's right.
feel. It seems like if you're really honest and you're really trying to get somewhere, you don't get shit. You just get fucked over.
You ain't getting nothing. You're gonna get fucked over, and if you don't shut up, you're gonna get whacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna find your body in an alley in Long Beach somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. There's even people have had to go in exile. Have had to,
I know. Some of the best people out in the world, some of the best researchers and best minds out there have gotten, they put something out that they were not supposed to, and shit, they've gone into exile and nobody knows where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
shit. Yeah.
That's how bad it is. That's how scary it is. And I know it. I'm not stupid, so I know what's going on. That's why I'm trying to kind of dropping out of sight anymore. I'm just dropping out.
Yeah.
I've got so much I could tell people, but I'm not about to.
But you're saying you don't got any fucking. If you do say it, there's no fucking protection. You can't say anything, because then if you say something, then somebody got you on a list and all kinds of fucking shit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got people.
Now I'm also told. I've also been told that I have protection. Well, that's true, and maybe I do, but it sure as shit don't look like it. But then again, I'm still alive. I'm still here.
Yeah, that ought to tell you something,
And so I guess it tells me something. Maybe I do have protection, but so what it tells me, all right, maybe I do have protection, but I'm not going to go out looking for trouble. I think I'm just going to retire quietly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to retire and drop out. I did the best I could. Tried to do the best I could. Didn't have a dime. Never had a dime, and don't have shit now, and I ain't ever going to. So that's it.
Yeah,
I did the best I could.
What pisses me off a little bit is you got these people out here who are talking about be positive and be love and light and shit.
Yeah, bullshit.
And I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. So who, can you tell me a little bit more about what happened to Kennedy? And then they go, oh no, we can't do that. So
Yeah, right.
all if it's so, if you're so much in the love and light and all that shit, shouldn't the love and light be revealing more of what's in the darkness? Shouldn't we be getting more information? So what's the holdup?
That's it. No, you're right. You're right. That's exactly right. And and then when you find out, when you talk to these people and start talking to them, you find out how much they really don't know.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
That there actually are fucking morons.
Yeah.
And they tell me, I've had them tell me so many times, you ought to be more positive.
Yeah.
And I said, I am one of the most positive people you're ever going to meet. I'm very positive.
You are, Jordan. Because you don't ask, you're the only person I know that has done, people haven't done a tenth of what you've done, and you never really asked anybody for money. I remember back in the day, a few years ago, I used to call you, and you would talk to me for 20, 30 minutes for free. And you didn't ask me for, I randomly called you, and you didn't ask me for a penny. And, I tried to call Stuart Swerdlow. You know who he is?
Yeah, of course I know Stuart.
His wife picked up the phone talking about, $350 to set up a consultation to go over all this shit and stuff, and all the shit on his website, like you clear your energy field for $500 and all this shit, and and you could.
But see, I know him. I know Stuart Swerdlow and Al Bielek and Peter Moon and Preston Nichols. All those guys, I know them all real well.
His grandpa. I think his grandfather, Stuart Swerdlow, was like the first leader of the communist movement or something.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that made me feel warm and all over. Made me feel good just to know that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I knew about that.
Yeah.
I went back to Philadelphia twice. A few years ago, I flew back to Philadelphia and did a long, extended weekend seminar with Al Bielek and Preston Nichols. It was Preston Nichols, myself, and Al Bielek, and we were speaking on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I know Preston Nichols and Al Bielek. And you know what I'm talking about, Al Bielek?
Yeah, Al Bielek was with the Philadelphia Experiment. Is he still around?
No, he passed away. He was in Florida and died.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yep. But
yeah, I remember him with the I remember you saying you asked somebody about the Philadelphia Experiment that was high up in the military.
Oh, that was Colonel Tom Bearden.
Yeah, and he got kind of disgruntled.
Yeah.
But he basically let you know there was something to it, though.
That's right, exactly. He said, I can't talk about that. And so I said, well, I don't want any state secrets or nothing. He said, no, I said, I can't talk about that, period.
Yeah. There's a lot of... Yeah.
In other words, I ain't talking about that at all, period. Well, when a man like Colonel Tom Bearden, at the top of America's scientists, tells you something like that, that means he answered your question. My question was, is there anything to it? And the answer was very simple. You bet your ass there is, and I ain't talking about it, so shut the fuck up. So I said, well, I guess I got it. I think I figured it out. So, whatever.
Yeah. And
let me ask you something.
Okay.
Did you say you were out here at one time?
Yeah. I go back. I go to California about once a year, and I'm about overdue. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about going out there in the next couple of weeks. I didn't know. Usually, I stay at the Motel 6, but I was going to pick a different location this time. But I go to California. I've been going there since I was about 7. I usually go there just once a year.
Well, what are you doing when you come here? You got family here or anybody?
No. Something draws me. This is the interesting thing. Something draws me to the location of the LA area. I don't know what it is. And
how old are you?
29.
You come to LA on your own.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting because see, LA is it's called Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is city of the angels. Los Angeles,
Yeah, I
Los
know.
Angeles.
Yeah, or
Well,
Lost
what are
can
you talking? What are you talking about? Angels. Yeah,
the fallen angels.
angels. Yeah, well, the angels are from out there, right?
Yeah, and Soul and Lost, Los backwards it means the sun.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Soul.
Hmm.
Jordan, you think that the LA area itself, it seems like it has a significant spiritual presence there on its
Oh,
own.
of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it does. What do you think? That's why Hollywood is Hollywood. No,
Yeah.
and of course, it's City of the Angels. It's a mecca for spiritual stuff. All the cults are here and all that kind of shit. It's all here.
Yeah. Over in Chatsworth.
So
Over in
yeah, Chatsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chatsworth is full of it.
You ever heard of Krishna Venta?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that name in a long time though.
Yeah. He had a cult there before the Manson family in the 50s. Well,
Yeah.
and then before him it
Did
was
you know that in the Santa Monica Mountains, um, there's a huge retreat up in the mountains. That's it's all overgrown now. But it was an enormous retreat. You can still go there today. That was built for Adolf Hitler by all the Nazis here in L.A.
I didn't know about that. I got to write that down. Hitler retreat,
that's
Santa
a
Monica.
huge. That's right. In the mountains of Santa Monica is a big mansion and storage house and storage bins, a big pool, and a storage facility for food, and an underground bunker, and it's an enormous place. It's huge.
That's where he went after the war.
But it was built for the Fuhrer because he was going to live in the Santa Monica Mountains.
That's where he went after the war. Sure.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but I don't think he went there. I think he ended up going to Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted him to come here if he won the war. If he won the war, and he defeated America, then they had a nice plush palace for him up in the mountains because he loved the mountains. So if he's coming to America because he's overthrown the American government and he's now the Fuhrer, then he liked the mountains. So they bought and built a huge place here in the mountains of Santa Monica Mountains for Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's even got the big swastikas at the gates. The gates have big swastikas on them, and
coming home to where it started.
On the sides it's all there. It's right here in the Santa Monica Mountains.
Yeah, that's just like you know where Santa Susana Pass is?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to it 100 times.
Yeah, where that the Manson family lived at that Spawn movie ranch.
That's right. That's exactly right. I was there. I mean, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, I always thought, the Germans in 1970 when this stuff started coming out more and more and more about what had happened, and they were indicating the Manson family, I found out that they were saying on one of the interviews the Germans owned half the where they lived. The Germans owned the ranch that they were at.
Well, wouldn't be a bit surprised. That's exactly right. Wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Like the Hughes Foundation or something like that was there too.
Yep.
Yeah. But
anyway, I'm gonna have to go. I got to make 2 more phone calls tonight.
Okay, Jordan, I want to say I'm gonna be in touch with you because I'm gonna do something like we did before with the money order. Hopefully I can if you're willing. But also,
of course I am.
Yeah. Also, I want to come out there and possibly just see you in person.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I asked if you're coming out here. Why don't you email me when you're coming out here, and then come over and hang out.
Yeah, I work. My job is very relaxed. My family owns a couple businesses, and so I basically I'm trying to do this stuff, my research, full time now. But and I know how it is with I have no problem. Like on my YouTube channel, I always say, all this stuff I'm doing. Most of it is the work of Jordan Maxwell, and all this, and I mean I just want to, my main interest, Jordan, is the 60s and 70s. I think whatever happened to Kennedy in 63, a lot of the shit in the 60s and 70s was an outpour of that.
Of course it was.
The takeover.
Of course it was. That's why you need to listen to the two guys I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Levenda talks all about that.
Right.
What happened to Kennedy and the Germans and the Nazis and what was going on in America with the motion picture company. That's what he talks about.
The internal takeover.
Internal takeover. But go on the web and look for Peter Levenda, and it's called, the lecture he gave is incredible, talking all about this stuff. It's called the Secret Space Program.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Space Program of Peter Levenda.
Okay. I'm writing that down.
And it's like a 90-minute lecture on Studio City and the mountains of Hollywood, the Nazi movement, the killing of Kennedy. I mean, he ties it all together.
Yeah.
So, and then the other one, Joseph Farrell, he'll blow your mind too.
Okay, sounds good, Jordan. And I'll be in touch with you through the emails and all that. And
okay, absolutely.
We'll be able to hang out and go out to eat or something and just talk about.
Well, let's do it.
Do it in person.
I'm here.
Yeah, without anybody on the phone listening and all that.
I know, right.
Okay. Well, okay. Thanks so much, Jordan. I'll be in touch with you soon.
No, that's all right. And if you want to talk again, let me know. I'm always here.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.